is Dr. Trish, and I have an advanced degree in health education. I've been a health educator for about 20 plus years in community, and I love talking about health and wellness and just helping people with their overall health and wellness goals and just having healthier lifestyles. But when we think of the word health, we think about the physical health first and foremost, right? We don't think about the other parts of health, right? The other parts of our being that makes up our overall total health, right? And so we have to think about the mental health, the emotional health, the spiritual health, right? Along with the physical health, right? Because we're not just a body, right? We have a heart, we have emotions, we have a mind, we have a brain, we have mental health, right? We have a spirit, right? We have a soul, right? We definitely have a soul/spirit. So we have to think about our spiritual health, right? And of course we have a body, so we have a physical health, right? And so everything and anything I do, I always try to bring that holistic perspective. And today we're going to be talking about grief and loss. And so just a little bit about myself. Unfortunately, I've had several losses. In my life. And when we think of the word loss, right? But what is under this word loss, right? And so it could be a loss of a house, loss of an income, loss of a job, loss of a car, right? Loss of something that was valuable to us, but it can also be loss of people, right? Loss of pets, right? So there's many different types of losses that we can have. And then there's loss of relationships. And some of these relationships come and go, right? Especially family-based relationships. Family-based relationships are sometimes up and down. So grief isn't only about death, okay? It's about change. It's about endings. And it's about letting go. Right? And sometimes that change and those endings and the letting go gets really drawn out. It gets really drawn out, right? Depending on how you're processing everything, right? And so we think, right? And we tell ourselves we're okay when we have a loss of a parent, a loss of a sibling, God forbid, a loss of a child, right? But we're really not. We're kidding ourselves by saying we're okay, because we're not okay. It takes time and it's a process, and there's change and transition. There's things that have ended, and so how do we move forward, right? How do we still have those persons' belongings? How do we still have pictures with them, memories with them? How do we move forward, right? And also, how do we start letting go, right? As a health educator, I want to show you how grief affects not just the heart, but the whole person. And when I speak about the whole person, I speak about these 4 dimensions that I always mention: the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, and the mental. But it's really the spirit, mind, body approach. Have you ever experienced a loss that changed how you see yourself in the world? Have you ever experienced a loss that changed how you see yourself or the world? But that's what loss does. That's naturally what loss does, right? Loss changes things up. It shakes your world. That's what it does. It's going to shake it. It's like, whoa, like you feel all destabilized, right? You're like, what is happening, right? You know your experiences, the changes that come with that loss, right? And it takes time. It takes time to figure out what is happening. What's resonating with me, what's happening, what's changing. I don't feel like I need to be doing this anymore. I feel like I need to do something different, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if I want to live here anymore, and I don't know where to go. I don't know if I want to keep this job anymore, continue doing this work anymore, but I don't know what I want to do, right? So it's all of these doubts. And like, I don't know. People move to different states, to different countries. Things get really rocky, right? And it's supposed to, because that's what loss does, and that's what loss is. Loss can come through losing a physical person, through death of a loved one, through a divorce, or even a breakup, right? A breakup of a relationship that you've been in for a good amount of time, or even a relationship that was maybe not that long, but it had a lot of meaningfulness to you, and it was very deep, very passionate, or very involved, very involved. It could be loss of health or physical ability, right? Loss can be loss of your health, right? Or physical ability. It could be loss of a job or even financial security, stability, financial stability. It could be loss of your identity. It could be loss of your identity. It could be loss of purpose, and even loss of faith. Childhood losses could be a part of it as well, such as having safety, right? Love, or your loss of innocence, right? Loss of innocence, loss of love, and loss of safety. So each type of loss affects different parts of us. Through the body, it affects our fatigue. We have fatigue. It affects our energy levels. We will have fatigue. It's very heavy. It's very, very heavy, right? That energy, right, is very heavy. And it's like we're carrying it like a heavy bag. Our body feels like a heavy, heavy bag, okay? We can also have sleep disruption. We can also have immune suppression, right? Our body is not able to cope with the different ways that loss affects us. It's just our body's way of reacting to that loss, the emotions of the loss. And everybody's body is different. Everybody's body is different. We can also have some confusion. Like I said, you don't know where you are, you're wavering, right? So you'll have some confusion taking place. You can have forgetfulness, and also you can experience anxiety, right? Anxiety. Yeah, like concern and worry, right? Over worrying, right? Because when you have a lot of loss, you don't want to continue to have more loss. So you're over worrying, right? So it's a lot of anxiety that gets built up. So that's with the minds, right? The mind can keep, play tricks on you as well, right? The spirit, when it comes to the spirits, okay, we have loss of meaning at times, questioning faith, right? And even feeling distant from God. So these are all parts of loss and how we process loss. And it's not always going to be processing loss on a high. There's going to be a lot of low levels, right? We can't really face loss for sometimes being able to experience the beauty of it until we've spent enough time in the valley. We can't be up on a mountain experiencing the beauty of loss till we spend some time really being present in the valley, right? In the low ends, right? Waves, right? It's like waves, right? And with waves, there's a high and then there's a low, and there's a high and there's a low, right? So like mountains and valleys, this is how loss is.